to have very expensive tastes in their clothing in comparison to their peasant counterparts. They wore clothing pieces made of silk, fur, linen, and velvet. They also used purple in some clothing, as it showed their place in society. Women of royalty generally wore gowns over undergarments and were known to wear high headdresses made in the image of hearts, butterflies, and other symbols. Men of royalty wore trousers and long shirts called tunics. In addition to these clothes, both genders wore large amounts of jewelry. Among the nobles and the wealthy, it was common to hold feasts as a form of entertainment. Usually gifts would be exchanged among those in attendance. The food preparation and presentation resulted in beautiful food arrangements with exotic colors and flavorings. A form of live entertainment at these feasts were jesters who were responsible for bringing a smile to the face of a monarch who was feeling angry or unwell. Tournaments were also a common form of entertainment held throughout the land, where knights and nobles would come together to compete, with all being welcomed as spectators. There would be a variety of games such as swordplay, jousting, horseback riding, and fighting. During the jousting tournaments, knights displayed their skill in combat and upheld the codes of chivalry. When a knight won, the daughter or wife of the king would throw him a scarf or a glove to show admiration. The performing arts were also a large part of medieval society. Nobles and the wealthy would sometimes have performers as their employees to provide regular entertainment whenever they desired.
Feudalism was a land ownership social system in medieval Europe and was based on giving land in exchange for services. The pyramid of power included kings, nobles, knights, vassals, and the peasants' lowest social class. Kings gave land to nobles in exchange for money and knights. Nobles gave land, also known as fiefs, and equipment, along with basic necessities of life, to knights/vassals in exchange for protection and military service. Then these knights/vassals gave land and protection to peasants and other poor people in exchange for food and services. For example, the nobles needed the knights' military services, so the nobles could provide knights for the king. Peasants were not allowed to leave the land either. To continue, usually peasants stay at the bottom and have no chance, for the most part, to scale the pyramid. I guess you could say it is difficult to escape being a peasant because your efforts would be futile. But nobles or knights could get rich enough to be a king and then give out land as well. It all depended on what social class you were born in. You may be wondering why the early days of history were called the Dark Ages. Because there were so many knights. Knights would provide protection for nobles and kings. They were treated very well and were taught to be courteous. The king would give lords fiefs or pieces of land. They were expected to pay taxes to the king. A lord's word was the law. A lady was a woman who was married to the king. Their job was to basically be a housewife and take care of everyone in the family. She was basically the property of her father, husband, or even their eldest son.